Welcome to Pera's Playbook. This is your host, Alex Pera. Let's open up our playbook and see who our guest is. Please enjoy. Welcome to episode 196. Today we're joined by Dale Jacoby. He's an actor, stuntman, martial arts instructor, world champion, kickboxer, 8th degree black belt, 12-time karate champ. He's been in films like Die Hard 2, Rocky 5, No Retreat, No Surrender, and we're going to dive into all kinds of stuff. We're happy to have Dale on the podcast today. How's it going?
Good, my pleasure to be here. I want to start off with something. I want to give a shout out. See this hat that says war?
Yeah,
This hat represents a man, Dustin Diamond Poirier. You know who that is?
I don't.
Look him up.
Okay.
He is the GOAT. This is all respect to him. He, in the sense of a warrior, he's a bad man. He's a warrior. Anyways, nice to be here. How are you, buddy?
I'm chilling. I'm doing very well. Happy to speak with you. This all came about. I'll give a little background. So I had a while back I'd spoken with an actor from the first Die Hard movie, Dennis Hayden. He played Eddie, one of the terrorists. And I last week spoke with an actor from the third Die Hard movie, Nick Wyman, who played one of those terrorists. And I thought, well, I've spoken with somebody from the first movie and the third movie. I have to find somebody from the second movie. And I sent out some messages and you answered rather quickly. So here we are.
Yeah, that was so that movie when you said about snow. So the ending of that movie was hellacious. We couldn't find snow. We sat in Denver at the old Stapleton Airport for 3 weeks waiting for snow. We ran to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We ran to Michigan, couldn't find snow. We finally had to end it on set at 20th Century Fox. They could not find snow to end the movie because, the end of the movie was the big snow thing. There was snowless. The gods weren't good to them, and it was causing them loads of money every day just sitting around because the crew was enormous, and it was pretty fun. I mean, I had a great time. I was with my very good friend Jeff Langton and also Charlie Bacherney, who was the stunt coordinator. Got us all on there because we all kind of came through by my sensei Benny the Jet Ukitas, and it was an interesting time. Um, um, I almost kicked Bruce Willis off the set, but that's a funny story. It was fun, Um, they put us on contract for shit 50 weeks because they didn't want us to do anything else. They wanted to tie you up so you couldn't go on and do anything else. But I was lucky enough that I was able to do Rocky 5. I had a nice little part in that because we had downtime, but it was a good time. It was fun. I worked with a group. We were called the Blue Light Crew. We were a special group. I don't. You've seen the movie,
Yeah. Oh
obviously.
yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were with John Amos. So when we were bored, we'd go back to his trailer and we'd shoot craps, and we had fun. We had fun.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys were the good guys that were actually bad guys.
We were the good guys who were paid off to be the bad guys. Yeah, it was cool. Up to that point, I had never worked with a firearm, right? And we worked with, I think they were M14s, and it was pretty cool learning that. So I always like to learn new things. So that was pretty cool.
Did they put you through like some kind of a training to make, so you knew how to operate it and so you looked legit when you guys were doing your
Yeah, yeah,
operations and stuff?
yeah, yeah. Just like on set, they had a guy who was ex-military and took us through it, and it was pretty interesting, because people can tell, like if they were in the military, people who know firearms, if you're playing with the gun or whatever, if you know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. If you're standing around with your finger on the trigger, that's a no-no. So little things like that that you don't know, and they want to make the movie look 100% legit. So it was important, and it came out. It came out excellent, actually.
Yeah.
You know.
No, the whole series. I mean, I haven't seen the last two, like the newest two. I need to watch those. But I mean, the first three, they're all. The first one's a great movie. I like the second one too. I think if you're a fan of the franchise, if you're a fan of action movies, there's not much to not like, right? I mean,
Well, 100%. And the thing about is when you do a group of movies, spin-offs, if your second one isn't good, don't do a third one.
right?
Like, so this was Die Hard 2, I think, was better than Die Hard 1. So I think it was catching, just like Rocky, he was able to do that. Rambo, he was able to do that because they spun so well. Beverly Hills Cop, all these sequels, so it's a crapshoot, it's a
Yeah,
crapshoot.
yeah. I think it made a lot more money in the box office than the first one did.
It did because the first one, people like it didn't catch on till later.
Yeah,
And then oh great, so the second one people really really wanted to see it. That movie is the gift that keeps on giving. I did that movie 91 or 92, whatever. I still consistently get nice residual checks on that movie. It's like the gift that keeps giving because it did a high volume. That's how they do the residuals off of what the movie made.
yeah.
It was interesting.
Right, yeah. Nice little surprise in the mail every once in a while.
You would, yeah, you got to believe it, yeah. And I'm not talking, thousands or millions. I'm talking nice little chunks, which
Yeah,
helps. Every little bit helps because
yeah,
it's just that kind of world.
right.
This is a funny story too, if you want to hear stories.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So on Rocky, um, I go for the audition with my friend Billy Blanks. You know who Billy Blanks is?
yeah,
So we go down there, and there's probably Bobby Bass, who's a stuntman. He called me in, and there's probably a hundred guys there, stunt guys, fighters, actors, everybody. So they line us up in lines of like I don't know 20 people, and Sylvester Stallone, who is the GOAT. I love him. He's on a whole nother level. He has his hands behind his back, and he's, like they do in the military, he's walking and he's looking at all the soldiers, looking them up and down. And he's walking by and he's walking by and he's walking by. And he gets to me and he looks me up and down. And in his Sylvester Stallone voice, he goes, "You don't look like a heavyweight." I said, "Neither do you, Sly." Mic drop. He looked at me, he chuckled, and he walked on. We're done. Stallone leave. Bobby Bass, who should rest in peace, passed away. He goes, "The fuck did you do? Look what did you?" I go, "It just came natural." He goes, "Yeah, well, you're done." I'm like, "I don't care." I get home. On those days, they didn't really have cell phones unless you were a drug dealer, and I wasn't a drug dealer, so I didn't have a cell phone. So I get a call, and it's Bobby. He goes, I don't understand people with you. I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "He loved you. He fucking loves you. So you have a part in the movie." Go figure. Go figure. Like, you know, I my introduction into Hollywood, I didn't want to be an actor. Like, I wanted to be a fighter. So acting, I lucked out. I didn't want to be. There's the guys who've been searching, who've been busting their balls trying to act and do whatever and whatever for years till they finally said, "Forget it." That wasn't me. So I had an unbelievable run at it, like probably from 84 to 98. I was pretty relevant working, and then I stopped, and then I get little things. Like the last things I did was Sons of Anarchy, the show,
Hmm.
which I wasn't looking. It just happened. But you know, I I I didn't want to. I wanted to be a fighter. I I wanted to be, I wanted to be a fighter, and that started out. So anybody out there who's familiar with kickboxing or Muay Thai, my mentor, my trainer, his name was Benny the Jet Ukitas. Did you ever hear of him?
Mm-mm.
Look him up. Anybody out there? Look him up. So he built a place that they say if you built it, everybody will come. He built a place called the Jet Center in the late '80s, and it was the mecca. Everybody from all over the world came there to train, or anybody. If you were anybody in the world of kickboxing, martial, you were there. So one day I'm in there, I'm hitting the bag, and again I noticed I'm looking over my shoulder, and Benny is like on it. There was a top, and then on the bottom was the workout area. So Benny's up there with four or five people. One of them was Corey Yuan. Corey Yuan was he was head of the Chinese Stunt Association, and he was the stunt coordinator for No Retreat, No Surrender, which I did with John Claude Van Damme. Keith Steinberg, who was the writer, was up there, and a couple other people. So Benny calls me over and he says, "Introduce yourself." I introduce myself to them, and they tell me who they are. And Keith Steinberg says, "We're doing this movie called No Retreat, No Surrender." They didn't even mention Van Damme because Van Damme wasn't anybody then. That was like his coming out movie. So they said, "We like your character. Like you have a great look and everything. We want you to be in the movie." I says, "I don't want to do movies," and I walked away. Betty goes, "Get back here." Betty looks at them and goes, "He'll do it." I'm like, "Oh, I'll do it. Okay, of course." So that is how I started my movie career. Now that movie is a cult. It's a cult classic. I probably get 100 emails a week on people about that movie. In fact, I just did a documentary on it, and they want me to come back to Germany to do a thing on it because it's a cult classic, and my character Dean Shooting Star Ramsey is probably they say one of the best characters in the movie. And it was like I didn't even want to do it, but it came off good because I'm a fighter, I'm a performer, so acting kind of came easy to me because as you can tell I'm really not shy, so it kind of just it flowed. So that was like that's how I got into the movie thing, which was random. Like people, like I said, people try forever and never make it. They say when you don't want something, don't try it. It just comes to you. When you keep trying and trying and trying and trying, you ever trying, it never comes. So it just kind of happened, and I ran with it, and it was actually it was it was all after all said and done. Not that it's done, but it was pretty cool. It was a great experience. Working, in the movie industry and doing stuff, and yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it's kind of funny you say that. I talked to one other actor who kind of had a similar like he wasn't looking to be an actor and it kind of just fell in his lap and he ended up having a really nice career and when he got his SAG card he was actually on set of a movie and they walked up and they told him they said the producers they like you so much they're going to write you into the full script now you're a full SAG member and he said he looked at the guy next to him and like what just happened and the guy's just like fuck you man like you like you realize how hard it is to get this and you just had it fall right in your lap like
It's crazy because that is my story, and I could have. could have really, I could have really, 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 really been a pretty, a pretty big star. But I just, I did it, but my, I don't know, my heart was never fully 100% into it because my heart was in my art, martial arts and fighting and teaching, and that's where my love, like my passion lied. So my passion, maybe that's why my passion wasn't to be a actor, like a star. I was a working, like I was a working actor. I did okay, man. I raised a family through the money I made through my acting and everything. So, and people say, "Do you regret ever like not pushing it, like going the full?" I said, "No. I I, I live my life in my mind like no regrets, no regrets, like no regrets. My life, my way, my rules, no regrets. So, no, I don't have no regrets, but I had fun doing it, and I got to do, I got to do a lot of cool things, and work with really cool people, and do fun things, and actually get paid for it. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, well, heck yeah. You were in some big movies. You worked with three of the biggest action stars of the 80s, Bruce Willis, Van Damme, and Stallone. I mean, you can't ask for, and you can walk down the street and not get mobbed by the paparazzi, right? If you go the full way, if you become a big star, you can't go out to eat without being mobbed by the paparazzi, and you can't live a private life and you can't do all this
No,
stuff.
no. So it's I was I guess the word is blessed. Like I was just blessed to do it. So, again, there was absolutely no regrets. If I had it to do over again, I'd do it the same. I would do it the same way. All those roads, everything I did has taken me to where I am now, and like I've been in talks. I'm pretty sure I can say this. Um, I've shot 2 episodes of a reality show on my life, or on my, like my life and everything in the martial arts and everything. And we'll see. It's trending in the right direction. I really, so to do a reality show would be really cool because I have the craziest family dynamics with my children and my inner circle. Like for years, everybody said the Jacoby should have their own reality show, and it was like this again was like dropped in my lap over something I did that somebody was there when I got inducted into the martial arts museum. There were people there who just happened to be in the audience, and they were like, "Oh man, the way people talked about me." And they're like, "Have you ever thought about a reality show or whatever?" I'm like, "Oh fuck, that would be really cool." um that's something that I hope really comes into fruition. I mean, that would be pretty cool because, like, between my son and my daughter and my ex-wife, we have this dynamics, and now I have a, believe it or not, I have a 15-year-old granddaughter. I have a 3-year-old granddaughter, and I have a granddaughter on the way. But my 15-year-old granddaughter has our ways, and it's like all the women in my life kick my ass. Like those are the only people in the world who put me on blast, tell me how to act in public. And I'll look at my 15-year-old will be in public, and she'll say, "Papa, be, turn your music down on your phone. Don't say that. Don't." I go, "Lana, I I've been in this world a long time. I know." She goes, "Papa, listen to me." I'm like, Okay, okay." So, the dynamics of that would be pretty cool, and the people that they've showed it to were like, "Oh wow, that's like really, really, really really cool, and the dynamics and what I can get people, to be on the show and everything, because in the world of martial arts, um, I have a very good name. Like we had a black belt promotion 2 weeks ago, and I had people said, "There's no way I could do like." I had probably the most world renowned black belts and fighters on my panel. I had Billy Blanks. I know you know who Michael J. White is.
I don't think so. Maybe.
You don't know? You ever seen the movie Blood and Bones?
Mm-mm.
Look up Michael. I had Michael there. I had everybody there, and like, it's your ability to being able to bring people together. I have open sparring, and I had probably 20 of the greatest martial arts fighter, what they call sport karate fighters, in one place sparring. And it's very hard to get people with all those attitudes and all that in one place. And I did it, and it went over great. And it was just like the ability, people say, like, to bring people together, because I I'm very respected. I'm very respected for a reason. I give respect. You got to give respect to get respect. So that's how it works. So, it's just, I'm not pompous, I'm not arrogant. I'm confident. Like I'm confident. Like I'm confident. So I speak through confidence. I speak through the spoken word. And I think that's very important when you deal with people, that you speak through the spoken word, because people can feel bullshit real quick. So I speak with confidence, and when I speak, they know, like, oh, this motherfucker knows what he's talking about. So I think that's important in the world. And that goes with whoever you deal with. Just be yourself. And you asked, you in your thing, you said about, how did I get in the martial arts, or how did I? So I say this proudly. I was bullied. I was bullied, and not constantly, but I was bullied a couple times. And my father, who's the best man in the world ever, who's in heaven, who's my best friend, my everything. My father was a man's man. My father was born in 1921, south side of Chicago, 15 brothers and sisters. They had a three, talk about poverty, talk about struggle. They had a three flat apartment. That means there were three rooms, not three bedrooms, three rooms, a kitchen, a living area, and a bedroom and a bathroom. That's how he grew up. He slept in a bed with four brothers, never complained. He had to fight his way to school, fight his way back to school, in the snow, in the sleet. At 13 years old, he had to quit school to go to work with his father on a truck, hauling pianos to support his family. So my father was a man's man. So this all makes sense. So I grew up in Van Nuys, California. Middle class, it was middle class, predominantly Jewish. And we lived in a building, and it had subterranean parking. You know what that is? It was tandem, was underneath, drove underneath
Oh,
it with
yeah.
tandem.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this family moved in underneath us. They were super white trash. It was a father, twin boys, and two other brothers. That's it. But they were just white trash, man. They were just, the twins, I think, were my age, and the two older brothers were, I don't know, older. But so one day, my father was in a hurry. He ran down. He says, "Hey, their car is in my spot. Go down and tell them to move it," because he was in a hurry. So I knock on the door, and they answer, and I go, "Hey, can you move your car? Your dad's car is in my dad." They go, "Okay." So they walk out with me, and I'm 12 years old, naive as hell. The two twin boys were on one side of me, and the two brothers, one was in front, one was behind. And we get into the parking area, and they look and they go, "Is that your dad's Jew canoe?" That was my first experience with racism or anti-Semitism. You know what I mean? And I looked and I was like, "What?" Well, I didn't even know what that meant. All of a sudden, they go, "Get him!" The two older ones grab me, and the two little brothers, boom, beat the shit out of me. This went on for a couple days till finally I told my dad. My dad went downstairs and might have slapped the father around just a little, maybe a lot. I'll never say. Oh no. So he came upstairs and he said to me, he goes, "Listen, son, this is not the way the world is. I'm not going to let you grow up like this." So the next day, he got me into karate. He took me to a place called Tracy's Karate on Hollywood Boulevard. And my first karate instructor, his name was Louis Chavez, this big, jolly, fat guy. I didn't know nothing. So he goes, "Oh, I'll help him." But I was there for like, excuse me, I was there for 6 months. And he was like, "Your son is good. Like, I think we should test him for black belt." Well, right then and there, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this is not it. So on the way home, I told my dad. So my dad owned a trucking company. His partner was a was a was a lawyer, an accident lawyer. He says, I'm working with this guy. His name is Cecil Peoples. He's a martial arts guy in your neighborhood. Maybe you should take your son there. So we went, and we walked in, and I see this man with a big, big afro screaming at people with a big stick, and he's walking around and he's whacking these people with the stick, because in those days it was all about the loyalty and the respect and keeping people in line, and you can get away with it. I'm thinking to myself, I got to get out of here. Oh, this is not going to be good. And he walks up to my dad and he expected me, and I went and I worked out, and that was the beginning of really learning and my martial arts journey. So I was with him for quite a long time, and then I found Benny the Jet Ukitas, and he made me the man I am. Like he taught me a lot about everything, and how to overcome fear, and how to turn the other cheek, and something that Louis Chavez told me. What those guys did to me, I must put that in a bottle and use that every day to fuel my fire to make me. And every day I fueled my fire with that. I dreamed about getting these guys back. Moving forward, I'm 19 years old now. I'm a first degree black belt. I probably by then I think I had 3 or 4 professional fights. I was a badass. Like I was a badass, but I wasn't that guy. Like I wasn't showing it, but I was. So me and my best friend and my brother and a couple other people, we go to a party in Malibu in the colony at at Ryan O'Neill's house. His daughter Tatum O'Neill was having a party. And it had like 2 floors, and the top floor was overlooking the ocean. So we're up there, we're chilling, and I'm standing next to my brother. I look and I'm like, what? I see the two brothers and the big brother walking towards me. And my adrenaline was like, and I said to my brother, I said, leave, take everybody, go downstairs. And he's like, why? I go, don't ask, just do it. He goes down. And I'm like, okay. And I'm already in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm gonna throw the first one over the balcony. I'm gonna hit the second one in the throat, and the third one I'm gonna knee in the face. So I just wanted to give them a temperature check. So they walked by me and I did the boom, I did the shoulder bounce, and I hit the big brother. No lie, he went like this. He went, ah! Right then, my whole aura, everything went, it's called USA. I looked and they stopped and they looked at me with fear of death in their eyes. And I looked at them and I went to the big brother. I looked at him and I said, do you know me? And he was like cowering away. I said, do you know me? He goes, no. And I looked at the other two and I go, do you know me? And they were like, no. And I made an aggressive move. I went, ah. And all three of them went, ugh. I tapped the big brother on the shoulder and I said, have a nice night. So, do you understand what that did to me here? It vindicated me. It put that fire out. It made that realize that look what I become, look who they are. This affirmation came over my body, and I felt like the clouds lifted me up, and I was like, I just won the world heavyweight title. I was vindicated. It's like okay, and I never after that moment, I never looked back. And it was just like all like I say, all the training and all the roads led me to that point. And that's why I'm so big on I have a bully prevention thing. Parents out there, if your child is being bullied mentally, physically, spiritually, help them. Help them. It will go down a bad path if you don't help them with it. Bring them to terms with it and show them that bully is just a bully. If you stand up to the bully will drop real quick. The thing is, you can't let them run. You can't run from your fears in life. You can't run from your problems because they'll catch you. You can't put a band-aid on it. You got to fix it. I'm real into the bully thing. It's very important. Very
That's a big
important.
problem. Big problem
It's a
nowadays.
very big problem. I have so many little kids that I train who are bullied. They're not bullied after I'm done with them. But, so, and I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm very open. Like, like we talk about even with the way of the world, like people being real. I've dealt with depression. I've dealt with anxiety. I dealt with. I still, I deal with it. I get mind screwed, but I don't let my mind overrun my body. I figure it out and I fix it. And we all have demons. Like we all have demons. Like I put my demons in a lockbox. Every now and then, one of them get out. And we battle and I put them back in and we move on. And everybody, you look at somebody and you look, oh my God, that man has the perfect life. You don't know what that man's life is like. So never look at it like that. We all have issues. We all have demons that we deal with. And I deal with them, and sometimes they win, sometimes I win. But you know, um my foundation and my roots in the world is what keeps me going strong. I will never back down. I will never give up. Knock me down 8, I get up 9. That's me.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned like people look at somebody, think, oh, that guy's got a perfect life. I feel like often actors, professional athletes, people look at them and they think, oh, they're at the top. They've got all this money. Life is perfect, right? They're just, just because you're an actor or you're a quarterback in the NFL doesn't mean your life is perfect. And I've talked to so many people on this podcast, and they've shared some really incredible struggles that they've gone through. You know, there was a guy I had on the podcast. He played in the NHL But the entire experience for him was horrible because when he was a teenager, he had a bus accident and most of his hockey team was killed. So he had this super traumatic experience as a young kid. And back in the 80s, there was no mental health help, so he had to just deal with it internally for his entire career. Right? People probably looked at that guy and said, "Oh, he plays for the Detroit Red Wings. His life is awesome." They have no idea what he's got
Do,
internally.
do you know who Robin Williams was?
Oh yeah.
You know his story.
Yeah,
That man,
exactly.
that man struggled. That man was the funniest man ever. That
Oh yeah.
man fooled the world, and he was dying inside when
Yeah.
he should have asked for help. And that's why I always tell my people, my world, my friends, if you ever are down or need help, let me be your first call before you do anything stupid that will change your life forever. Reach out. You're not in this alone, and he must have felt that he was in this alone. And so I feel for that. I have a big heart. My son called me. He was with one of his friends, and he goes, "Dad, I'm telling my friend that you're a big sissy." I go, "Yeah." He was telling his friend, "My dad looks very scary. My dad is the biggest. My dad's a marshmallow. My daughter, the boys used to say, oh, Chelsea, we don't want to talk to you. Your dad will kill us." And she go, my dad, he's a big sissy. He cries at the Notebook. I am. I have a big heart. I have a big heart, and I'm not afraid to express my feelings. I'm not afraid to say what I feel. And I think that's important. Like I'm just a mere man, a child of God. I'm just I pray to get through every day. I pray that my children are healthy. My grandchildren are healthy. That's really, so I'm no better than nobody. I'm just me, and I do the best with me that I know how to do.
I think that's the most important thing, right? We're all humans. We're all trying to get through every single day. Doesn't matter what you're doing. We're all battling. You said we've all got demons. We've all got crap in our lives. We've all got this stuff we've got to trudge through. We've got to climb that mountain, and we're all trying to just do the best that we can, right?
I mean, that's all we. That sometimes we have to deal with the hand that was dealt to us. So it's just like we can fold the hand, or we can just draw and hope we get better cards or whatever. And that's the most important thing. If you dwell in your shit, you're gonna stay in your shit. You got to you have to find an avenue to express yourself or help yourself, or do something, or talk to somebody or whatever, because if you just let it all internalize, it's gonna fucking kill you. And I'm like I said, I'm very good about expressing my feelings. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. You know I just want to live my life and enjoy my life and watch my children succeed, my grandchildren grow, and hopefully, make a little impact on the world, that what I did was good.
And people, I think that, something bad happens to them in their lives, they automatically think, "Oh, this is horrible," but something good can come out of it. I mean, if you look at your life, right? You were bullied. That led you to martial arts, which ended up being your entire life, movies, competing, teaching. It all stemmed from that. If you would have never been bullied, who knows where you'd be right now.
100%. You're feeling shitty. You're just hating everything. And then you're walking and you see a 20-year-old child in a wheelchair with just MS or something. Man, you better count your blessings and say, "Thank you, God, that I can breathe, that I can walk, that I can talk, that I can smell, that I can touch." So, as bad as it is for you, could be 100 times worse than somebody else. And I don't judge. I don't want to be judged. I don't judge. I don't. I just want to live my life. I want to I want to do what makes me happy, and I want to help, and I want to give back.
Yeah. Yeah, it can always be worse. Whatever you're going through, it can always be worse. And
My
I yeah, what
my
were you saying?
my son, who I believe it or not, I learn a lot from my son. My son is my gift to the world. My son's a Grammy Award winning musician. My son is a sixth degree black belt. Or in fact, he just got promoted. My son is one of the greatest fighters you'll ever see. And sometimes when I'm feeling like shit or I'm dwelling in my shit, he'll go, Dad, one man's ceiling is another man's floor. Think of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, son. Okay, so it yeah it it could always it could always be worse.
Right.
Plain and simple. So, you know, I I live my life like I love my students. I love teaching. I love fighting. I still compete in sport karate. I still spar boxing. I kickboxing. Um, I still have that competitive edge, and I love to give back, and I love to work with the less fortunate. I love to work with the ones who are bullied. I like to work with the kids who are mentally challenged. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel accomplished. That makes me feel like I've given something back, and it's just not all about me, and I'm just not a taker. Because I'd rather be a giver than a taker, and that makes me feel good, and that's how I live my life. I just, I want to wake up and train my students and give them knowledge and focus and just good thoughts.
Yeah, nobody likes takers. You have to give back. You have to
And
be
you
kind.
gotta
You have to teach. You have to do, to help other people. I mean, we're all on, like we said, we're all trying to do the best we can. Well, if you're a taker, and you're selfish, you're greedy, and you're a jerk, and you're a dickhead, and you treat people like crap, and well, nobody's gonna want to be around you. Nobody's gonna want anything to do with you. That's not the way to live your life. You got to help others and do the best you can to yeah, if you can
a
help
wi-
somebody out, it's simple as open a door for somebody.
a wise man once told me, "We're all climbing up the mountain. We're all climbing up that mountain." But you have people who are taking their and trying to kick you down as you're trying to climb up the mountain. But you got to remember that at some point somebody's going to be on top of you, kicking you down. Is that what you want? Just
Yeah,
just get up, just get up the mountain. Just get up. Just get up the mountain. Live your life. Don't worry about the next man. Worry about yourself. And that that is, how I how I live. How I live and what makes me happy, being in my children's life and my grandchildren's life. That's what makes me happy because that's all I want. That's all I need. And if I could do that now till the end of time, that's all I want to do.
yeah,
It's all I want to do, man. And
it's good.
continue to do what I'm doing and build a legacy in my martial arts because my students are my legacy. And hopefully, knock on wood, that I've taught them the right way with principle, with integrity, with loyalty, and hopefully that they can keep the fire burning. And at the end of the day, that makes me a successful man.
Yeah,
Really, realistically, not the money, the monetary things, the money you have, or the car you drive, or where you live. That's bullshit because guess what? That shit comes and goes. One day you're eating filet mignon, the next day you're eating spam. That comes and goes. But leaving a legacy of people that you had some insight and put stuff into them and you made them a better person. You helped them not being bullied. You gave them confidence. You gave them the will to succeed. You gave them integrity. That's a legacy. That lives on. The rest goes. That lives on. So I really hope that I did that, and I really hope that God is good to me, and I can continue to do that.
yeah. That's good perspective. It's really good
Yeah.
perspective to have. And I think perspective is important. right? I mean, in your life, and sometimes if things are going well or not going well, it's, like, well, look at your perspective. Look at your stance on things. If you're a glass half empty person, yeah, things are going to be tougher. If you have a different perspective, like sometimes that's all you need to do is tweak your perspective on life and it'll just automatically get a little easier. It'll be better.
So the way you wake up in the morning dictates your day. So if you wake up and you feel like shit and you start your life and you start your day off like shit and you don't try and fix it, your whole day is going to be shit. But if you wake up in the morning and say, I got this. I'm going to slay the day. I'm good. I'm in a good place. I'm moving. I'm grooving. I got it. That's the way the day is going to go. You're not going to you have to keep your wheels rolling forward. You can't let them roll backwards. It's like these cliches, but it's so true. You can't live your life looking in the rearview mirror, looking over your back. You can't worry about yesterday. Yesterday is what? Yesterday. It's gone. You can't change what happened yesterday. You can only fix what you need to fix.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
we only have but a moment in time. We only have now because yesterday's gone. Tomorrow night might not come. So this is it. This might be the last podcast I'll ever do because tomorrow's not guaranteed. God, please
Yeah.
no. But you know, if you put it in perspective, that is the truth.
Yeah.
That is real because don't worry about today. I mean, don't worry about tomorrow. Get through today. Don't worry about yesterday. Just get through today.
Yeah. Don't dwell on the things you can't. Right? Yeah, you screwed up,
Mm.
so move on, right? If you can't change it, don't waste your life thinking about it. You just
No,
gotta
no, because
do better going forward.
yeah, it's only it's only going to affect you, and in retrospect, it will affect everybody around you because it's a domino effect. So your vibe and your energy is what everybody gets, and they catch it. So if you're vibing and you have energy, people are going to get off of that. But if you're down and you're moping and they're going to get off of that. And let's be real, nobody wants to be around that because at the end of the day, when you laugh, everybody laughs with you. When you cry by yourself, and nobody cares. You know that old thing they're saying now, and I love it. Nobody cares. Work harder. Work harder. Work harder. Forget about the participation trophy. Work harder. Everything is earned, nothing is given. Because if it was just given you all the time, it would mean shit. It just would mean shit. Work fucking harder. And I think a lot of people lose sight of that. And sometimes they just they gotta slow down and realize that this world, this life is that quick. So just live your life. Live your life to you. Don't live your life for anybody else. Live your life for you.
Yeah.
And everything I say, so I want everybody out there to know everything I say is not just talk. It's things everything that I say has happened to me. Everything I say, work harder, this, that, whatever, it's happened to me from being bullied to whatever. So I'm not just talking out of my ass, I'm talking out of experience. I live my life through experience. And I've made my mistakes more than most men, and I'm not afraid to say it. But by the grace of God, I fix them and I move on and I just every day I just I try and make myself better. I try and make the people around me better. And you know the best my gift to the world, my life, the best thing I did in my life is my son and my daughter. My son, like I told you, Grammy Award winning writer, going to be an action movie star. Um, I could go on and on. My daughter, my angel, played Division 1 basketball. Could have went overseas and played. She's a big time realtor, very successful. She put herself through college on a basketball scholarship. because if I would have had to send her to college, she would have went somewhere in Hoboken, nowhere, because I wouldn't have been able to afford it. She put herself through college on her ability. She bought her first car. She bought her second car. She bought her third car, so on and so on. Nobody, I wasn't able, she did it on her own. But at the end of the day, I think that made her a better person because now she don't expect nothing from nobody. So I look at my life through that, by the grace of God and my ex-wife, who, is the best, who helped. We raised two. Um, I get emotional when I think of things like that, but two amazing, um, just amazing people who the world loves, and they're two beautiful people. So if I did anything right in the world, real right, it was those two. And they were able to procreate. And I have a 15-year-old granddaughter who is the love of my life. And she is us. She's the same. I have a 3-year-old who is all of a sudden, I'm surrounded by women who is getting, I mean, and then I have one coming. So, money don't make you blessed. Cars don't make you blessed. Your children, your grandchildren, that's what makes you blessed. So I'm a very, 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 very blessed man. And that's how I live my life.
Yeah. No, it's all very good
Oh,
perspective. It's a good way to look at life. It really is. I mean, family's important. That's the most important thing. Memories, experiences, that's all the most important stuff. If you, I feel like you got to look at your life. If my house burned down today and all of my stuff in it was gone, I'd still be happy because I have my family, right? Like we can move on. You can get more junk, you get more stuff, but you can't get new memories. Those memories, that's what really counts. The times you spend with the people you love.
no, I mean, and that's the most important thing. So uh, to me, those are the things that are really what's important to me in life. And just I don't know, just to continue to for me to be able to teach, to be able to fight. People say to me, "When are you going to stop fighting? When are you going to stop sparring, getting hit at your age?" I'm like, "Listen, age has nothing to do about it. You can get hit at any age. If it's going to be bad, it's going to be bad." But the point being is, I still have the love and the passion, and I have this burning light inside of me that's not ready to quit when it comes to fighting. So when it's time, it's time. But right now, I mean, I can, I can still get out. So, it's my passion. I'm not going to give up something I love, or even like retiring. Well, retiring, that's not even. Well, I couldn't afford to retire, but anyways, no. It's not even like it's not even an option. It's not even on the table. I love what I do. Like I love, I love what I do. I was born a martial artist. I'll die a martial artist. It's who I am. It's what I am. I think it's all I really ever wanted to be was to be who I am, a martial artist. And that's what that is my happy place. And they say, "Well, what do you do for fun?" I fight and I do karate and I box. No, no, that's your job. I go, "Oh, but it's my fun." So, you know,
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. I mean I could tell you a million stories about a million different things, but it's just I just I love like I love what I do. Like I really I really love what I do. And again, I go back to my son. He said, "Dad, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life." I don't work. I feel
Hmm.
like I don't work, man. I don't work. Like I don't work. And I'm surrounded by unbelievable people. My infrastructure is unbelievable people. And I'm I'm just I'm very blessed. I'm very like I'm just very blessed. And it's why, I want to continue give back in every shape, form, however I can give back, because I was blessed in the beginning of this martial arts journey to be with Cecil Peoples, to be with Benny the Jet Ukitas, the greatest people around, and they taught me life. They taught me how to be a man. They taught me how to fight and how to survive mentally, physically, spiritually, and they gave me deep growth in my life. And again, it goes back to, like I said, had I not been bullied, I probably would have never did a fucking movie in my life. I probably would have never been a martial artist. Who knows? I would have just been some average Joe. So it's just like, I thank God that I was bullied. I thank God that I know what bullying is about, that I can really explain it. And it gave me a perspective. But the best part of it is, like, when I was on that balcony in Malibu and I beat them a long time ago, I didn't even have to do nothing. That's probably the greatest thing that ever just came. And that's a life. That's one of the life's lessons. That's a big lesson in my life. So I just want to I want to continue to grow and you know keep doing what I do, and I'm never going to look back, and I'm going to live this moment in time. I'm not going to look till tomorrow. I'm going to live this moment in time and do the best I can, and I will continue to make mistakes. I will continue to fall down, but I will continue to get up. I live my life. See what that says?
I can't.
One more round. One more round.
Yeah.
I just wasn't trying to flex on you. I was just trying to show. No, I live my life one more round. No matter what I'm like, what is it, a cockroach? No matter what you do to me, cockroach been around forever. I'm gonna get up. Like, I'm gonna get up. Like, I've been down many, many, many times, but I continue to get up. And
Yeah.
I will continue to get up, because I don't want to go out on the floor. I want to go out standing up. So, I'm going to I'm going to continue down that path, and like, if movies are presented to me like stuff, I would, be interested, and like that. If they don't, they don't, because I never chased it. Here, I'll give you some real quick. For a short time, I was a big model. I did Vogue. I did International Mail. I did them all. Again, I didn't want to do it. It fell into my lap until I had a bad experience, and again, these bad. I almost threw a guy off a balcony at the Hilton Hotel, or the Beverly Hills Hotel, because he tried to make me do something I didn't want to do. So then I was like, yeah, I don't want to model anymore. But all these things that fell into my lap, when I say they fell into my lap, I'd never pursued them. Like, I'm a model? I'm far from a model. Well, no, back then I had a pump. I was good looking, but but you know, so it's like, when I think about that, like, all these things that just happened, like, when you, it's like, what do they say? When you're searching for love, when you're trying to find love, you're never gonna find it. Like, if you keep beating your head against a wall, all you can do is beat your head against a wall. At some point, you got to stop and not beat your head against a wall, or you got to stop, and it will find its way to you. And I I believe that wholeheartedly. You know, and yeah.
Yeah. All awesome stuff. So you mentioned something about almost kicking Bruce off the set. What's that? What's
Oh,
that?
this is a story everybody likes to know. So, um, the movie. We were down. Like we were down. We would sit in an airplane hangar, 100,000 square foot airplane hangar, all night because they couldn't find snow. And I had just had my son, I believe my son, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm sitting there spinning my wheels. So we hung out together. You know, everybody you clicked. We all my guys we hung out together. So they gave us Parkers, you know, winter Parkers you put over. And I was like, I got to get out of here. So I walked to the opposite end of the hangar, 100 yards, and there was a group of directors' chairs. So you never want to sit in an actor's chair. So I look at the back of the chairs. There's no name. So I sit in this chair. I pull the hoodie over my head, and I'm chilling. I'm thinking to myself, I really want to go home. I really want to go home. Dorothy, take me home. And I get a tap on my back, and it's Bruce Willis. And I go, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "Hey, kid." He's calling me kid. You're in my chair. I'm like, the. I get up. I look at the back of the chair. There's no name on it. I sit back down. He taps me again. Sometimes I can be short fused, and I happen to be short fused that night. I jumped out of off the chair. Now I looked at him. I said, "Huh?" He goes, "You're in my chair." I looked at him. I said, "Motherfucker." I said, "You knock people out for pretend. I knock motherfuckers out for real. Turn around and walk away. Turn around, and walk away." So I have it over my head. I'm thinking to myself, well, here's the deal. In my mind, I'm doing this in my mind. We're too close. They can't fire me. What do I care? I did the right thing. You know how you feel something over your shoulder? I look behind me, and here comes the army. Joe Silver, Rennie Harmon, Stephen Perry, Willis. They all get up to me, and they got maybe 10 feet from me. I jump out of the chair and I go, "Hey, look, I'm just going to sit here and not bother nobody. Leave me alone, or you can fire me and I'll go home. Have a nice night." Put the parka back over my head, sat down, and they walked away. So I think we had like 3 weeks left. Joe Silver hated me. He looked at me, turnabout's fair play. A month we get back, we rep. I get a call from Van Damme, Jean Claude.
Yeah.
He's, he says, "Dale, I'm doing this movie. I want you to come down and read for it." I'm like, all right, cool. So I go to this place in Santa Monica, and I walk in, and there's like a conference table, and there's a big chair. It's in, face back to me so I can see the back. And I walk in and say, "Hey, Dale Jacoby, I'm here." Flips around, it's Joe Silver. And he looked at me and he goes, "Gotcha." I'm like, "Okay." And I walked out. Whatever, but that is what it is. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to be, sometimes actors or whatever, they have a I don't know, they could be arrogant, or they look, you look like you're comfortable and they're not happy that you're comfortable, you know. So there's a
I want to end the episode on this kind of question. So Willis, Van Damme, Stallone. I'm guessing it's not Willis because you you sounds like you had a little conflict with him, which actually I find interesting because the other guy said he was super chill. Maybe he was having a bad couple
I'm
months
sure.
on that
Listen,
movie.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure he was, or maybe I rubbed him the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know,
Maybe he
I,
was
I mean,
overtired, had a bad night, or who
and he
knows.
didn't. And I had seen him years later at a restaurant at Mr. Chow's in Beverly Hills, and I walked up and I said hi. He didn't even remember nothing. So I was like, okay, it's no
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, it's sad to see where he's at now too, and
Yeah, I
his
know.
health. It's really
I
really
know.
sad.
I know.
But those three guys, which was your, favorite to be on a movie with? The three big action stars of the 80s. Which one did you enjoy the most?
Sylvester Stallone is now and forever the GOAT. He's a class act. I mean, you can just look at him, and you can just you can just feel his vibe, and he's still out here doing it. He's real. He's a real. He's a real. man. He's an old school, real man. That's why he has all this success. That's why, because he kept it real. When he was trying to sell Rocky, and they said, "Oh, we'll buy Rocky, but you can't star in it." He was like, "No, I am Rocky." No, and he walked away. So he's a man's man. He's a real one. So hands down, head and shoulders above them all,
Yeah.
above them.
Yeah. Right.
You know.
And I mean, fantastic actor, fantastic movies, been in so many, the Rocky series, the Rambo's, he's done so much. He's just really, really fantastic characters that, a guy that you can, like the whole character of Rocky, a guy who's on the bottom, he climbs his way to the top. Well, then Rocky 5, he gets kicked back down and he's got
Yeah.
to,
And there you go. And there you go. And hey, Sly, if you're watching your new series, I'd love to be on it. No,
well,
but you know,
in Rocky 5, were you one of the fighters that like Tommy the Gun is going through in
yes,
or
yes,
yeah.
the montage, if you will, yeah,
Yeah.
the montage.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And actually Tommy Morrison was a nice guy too. I think he just got a lot of bad rap and everything, but he was a nice guy and he was a hell of a fighter. He really was.
Yeah.
But, you know, all that money so fast to him, I don't think he knew what to do with it and he made bad decisions. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. A common story, right? A lot of guys, you see it in acting, music, sports. A lot of people who came from nothing and now it's just thrown all, boom,
Because
you've got it all.
they don't know how to, and then they have people who are helping them, they're fucking them.
Yeah.
And they have
Well,
nothing
it's
to
in the
show.
movie. It's right in the movie. That Duke who's
Dude,
taking him, right? He's helping
exactly.
him out,
So
giving him all this great stuff. He's leading him down the wrong
yeah,
path.
yeah. So
But it's a total, yeah, no,
yeah,
that's another reason why those are great movies. They're
yeah,
realistic, great stories, characters you can relate to, characters you
one
want to
hundred
root
percent,
for.
100%. And again, he wrote them, and he just yeah, he's just he's a great man,
Yeah, for sure. Well,
great
Dale, I
man.
appreciate you hopping on the podcast, sharing
My
your life story, and
my pleasure, my pleasure. I told you you'd never run out of airtime. I could talk.
yeah.
No, I'm joking.
That's good though. It's good. It's good to keep the conversation flowing and not have that dead air where we're both staring at each
Yeah,
other.
no, that's the worst thing in the world. No, it never does because at some point, I want to do my own podcast. So I want to do, excuse me, I want to do a retro podcast, 80s and 90s, everything relevant, clothes, grammar, clubs, fighting, karate, this, that, and the other thing. Because in the 80s and 90s, me and my best friend, I was a big club promoter. So I know I have, so I want to do everything relevant. I want to have rock stars on. I want to have fighters on, everything. At some point, it's one of my things I want to do, you know?
Yeah, you should. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I love doing the
yeah, yeah.
podcast. Talk, just bullshitting with people for an
Yeah,
hour,
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, just having
Exactly.
real conversations about real things. And yeah,
It's
no,
a
it's
real thing.
awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for more episodes soon.